There is nothing you can do to force a man to stay in your life when he doesn't want to be there. I don't care how well you cook. I don't care how nice you try to make yourself look. I don't care how much you try to cater to him. I don't care how good you claim sex is. If he doesn't want to be with you, he's going to act accordingly. A lot of you are in relationships with straight wild beasts, and you are trying to domesticate and train them to act normal and respectable towards you, and you're stressing yourself out, losing sleep, losing weight, gaining weight, having all kinds of health issues because it's going against their nature of being a complete idiot. A lot of us, and I get that, some people have kids and they don't have any money and they can't just walk out into the street and leave. They got to make a plan to leave safely. I understand that. But a lot of women are in situations that they literally do not have to be in. A lot of y'all are in these relationships and there's nothing keeping you there. I once saw this meme of a horse and it was chained to a lawn chair. And because it mentally thought, oh, well, I'm chained, I'm not free, it stayed there and it didn't move. When that horse has all the power to be like, fuck this chair and run off into the sunset. That's how a lot of y'all are in these relationships. Like when I see these young women, you're not married, you're not living together, you don't have any kids, but you're sitting here crying over a man. There's absolutely, you don't even have to go through the court system. There's no reason you got to be with this person, but you're still with him. Y'all have an advantage. Nothing is attacked. Y'all don't have nothing going on, but you're still sitting there. And then people are like, well, economy is hard, it's, I gotta have somebody to help me pay the bills. Fuck that! Let me tell you something. When I left my abusive ex-husband in 2008, y'all, I was down bad. There were times when I had to choose, okay, if I buy milk and something to feed my kids this week, I'm not going to be able to fill up my gas tank. There were times when my kids I had to stretch their clothes, like they had to wear them until they were all like too small because I couldn't afford to buy them anything new. I know what it looks like to go through hard times. I have been there. But I also had it in my mind, I would rather be doing this than to be cooped up in a house with some guy who's walking all over me. I had a friend who was a life coach at one time, and they told me that they had a client who was just talking about some of the stuff they're going through. And the client didn't want to leave their abusive husband because they didn't want to give up their vacation home. And sadly, there are a lot of people who think that way. To be honest, I once thought that way because we lived in a nice size house and I didn't want to have to downsize and live in a smaller apartment. You have to get to a point where you would rather have nothing than to have everything and be with somebody who's going to wind up killing you anyway. I mean, they might not necessarily do it, but all the health issues that you're going to get from the stress of being in that relationship. It's one of the reasons why statistically married women live shorter lives than single women. And also, it might not be the extreme of a relationship, but I've talked about this before on my page. Y'all got to start blocking these exes. Every time I have this discussion, I get a handful of y'all in my comment section saying, well, I don't block him because of this. I don't block him because of that. And it's never anything important. And even if y'all do have kids, you only need to be talking about the kids, nothing else. There is no reason you need to still be in communication with somebody who is not paying your bills. No reason. There's no reason. A lot of y'all just like the attention that you're getting knowing that this person is texting you. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know what other language to say it in. It's not real attention. They are testing you to see if you will still answer them. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about you. And every time you respond, it's, yeah, I still got her. I don't care if it's one word or 15 sentences. Stop giving these people your energy. Listen, you don't have to convince me of a damn thing. You're only trying to fool yourself. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the keychain, and the souvenir picture. There's nothing that you can tell me where I'm going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because the math don't be mathin'. And because I love y'all, I'm going to be honest with y'all. If I see your comment, I'm going to tell you, why are you still talking to them? You do not need these bums. You do not need their time, energy, or their attention. You don't need nothing from them. The hit dog holler concept applies to y'all too. When I tell you to block your exes, and then you got to comment a whole thesis about why you can't do it. It's like, wait a minute, okay, if your conscience isn't feeling guilty, why are you trying to convince me, some random woman on the internet, about why you're doing what you're doing? Because you know it's fucking toxic, that's why. And people tell me I'm harsh and I'm too bold and I'm sharp, but you know what? Let me tell y'all something. I became the woman that I am today because of women who talk to me exactly how I'm talking to y'all. There's a time and a place to be gentle and kind, and I understand. And then there's a time to be like, listen, you're fucking up, man. Stop. Those types of women were the ones that shook me up and changed me and helped me to be who I am today. I got here mentally and emotionally because of women who would not put up with my excuses and my bullshit. And people who do allow that from you and believe it, those people, I don't really think that they really care about you. I don't think that they really love you, because people who really care about you would not see you self-destructing and be like, it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. You might see me as your aunt or as your best friend or as your sister. I don't know how I come across to y'all, but I genuinely care about women and our safety, because I have been through the storm. And I want to help save as many people as I possibly can from going through that. Now, there are people who won't listen. Hey, that's fine. I'm not going to I can't force anyone to do anything that they don't want to do, even if I feel it would be good for them to listen. I can't force that on anybody. But for those of you who are listening or sort of listening and the seed's been planted, just let it in. Allow yourself to feel uncomfortable. It's okay. Being uncomfortable causes you to question things so that changes can be made. But the more you make excuses, and the more you keep lying to yourself, and the more you think you got folks fooled, the further into the abyss of sadness, heartbreak, and toxicity you will fall. And you're only going to hurt yourself. And even more unfortunate, you're going to hurt your children if there's children involved. And that's sad, because children need you to advocate for them. And you're only advocating for yourself, for a man, a bum at that.